Over the years, I've discovered that the most important part of any game is that first hour of gameplay. That first introduction to the world created can make or break the rest of the game. So that's what I'm going to do here with this series. I'll be playing and rating a new game based solely on that first hour. That rating will be based on 5 factors: gameplay, graphics, difficulty, soundtrack, and immersion. Welcome to Gibu's Quickies, where I play a game for the first hour and then give you an honest review. Today's game, we have Legend of Grimrock II, a tile-based real-time dungeon crawler developed by publisher Almost Human. At the time of this recording, it has a very positive rating and sells for $23.99 on the Steam store. Or, you can pay $29.99 to get it and its predecessor, Legend of Grimrock. It should be noted, I did receive this game for free with no obligation from any third party. Let's get started. Installing this game took about 5 minutes, and it has a footprint of 1 gigabyte. Pretty small footprint. The game starts out with brilliant cinematics that showcase your party being shipwrecked on the shore of a mysterious island. Overall, the graphical style and musical ambience sort of remind me of Myst, with a few battles thrown in. There is little to no tutorial section of the game, which makes it somewhat difficult to discover what you need to do. I found myself clicking everything I could just to get out of the cage that I started in. Until I discovered that there was a branch just outside my cell. I did find this somewhat embarrassing that it took me as long as it did to figure out what I needed to do. I ended up having a good laugh at myself when I realized just how simple it was. I started out with a group of 4 prisoners: a fighter, a barbarian, a rogue, and a wizard. I picked a basic D&D style party that's all around good to go. Once you leave your confines, you need to figure out a way to get off the island that you have been shipwrecked on. Movement is based on a grid system, and if you're used to FPS and other games, it will take some getting used to. But keep the D&D aspect of everything in your head and you should be okay. You can easily tell this game was inspired by Dungeons & Dragons with the creatures, the spell styles, and the general quest style of the game. Find a keys to solve the puzzle in order to go to the next area. The game is well written, and it does offer a non-linear style of gameplay with basic combat structure where you're required to click on your attacking weapon to deal damage to the enemies. Compared to more modern titles, it will seem a bit clunky and niche, but that seems who the game has been designed for. While I'm not the target audience for this game, I still found myself somewhat enjoying the scenery and the gameplay as well. Now for the ratings. Gameplay. 2.5 gems. The clunky nature of the movement and combat system is a bit jarring at first, and it does make it difficult to actually get into the game. Combined with the lack of control, tutorial, and making the user feel distance from the characters in the scene. Graphics. 4 gems. The scenery and the graphics are beautifully done. The water looked crisp, the environment was well done and easy to enjoy. It looked like you could actually visit this remote island. Not that you'd want to with all the monsters about, though. Difficulty. 3 gems. While the game itself wasn't difficult, the control scheme, the lack of unearned information, i.e. tutorials, make the game much more difficult than it needs to be at the beginning. Again, I'm not the target audience on this one, so I gave it another star because it's a complaint that is really just a semantic. Soundtrack. 2 gems. Pulling from a basic adventure RPG soundtrack, filler music with repetitive location, specific ambient sounds, the game does very little to innovate in terms of sound. The enemy sounds have an extreme limit to the amount of sounds they make, and several of the door portcullis sounds are the same you'd hear in any stock grab bag. Immersion, 1.5 gems. The game essentially to me, again, not the target audience, is a picture on the wall. Something you look at but never really get lost in. Overall, it was somewhat frustrating to play and decidedly reminded me that I was playing a game, not experiencing a story. Overall ranking, 2.5 gems. The game is clunky, pretty, but it was very clunky. It's hard to get into a game when someone who doesn't frequent this style of game this is, but I did enjoy the ambience, not much else. It does get points for not being a buggy mess, but it has been out for several years, so I didn't really experience it day one. I can easily see the appeal to the niche audience that this caters to, but stated previously, I'm not part of that niche. The game is well built, locations are awesome looking. If the gameplay was different, I could easily find myself getting completely lost in the game. The controls with the look of the game can be jarring to new players. However, someone experienced will not only thrive in the game, I can see them being able to master it easily. For me, it's a nay. But for others, I can easily see it being a great time sink. I can see why it has a pretty high Metacritic score of 85 upon release. For the audience, I'm sure it was amazing. But with my frustration with the controls, I'd personally rather watch someone play than actually play myself. So, should you buy the game at full price on Steam for $23.99? If you're a fan of the genre, absolutely. If it's your first step into the genre, I would definitely say wait till it's on sale. So, why did I play a game I don't personally like? Well, the answer's simple. Because I had no idea if I'd like it or not. Every game in this series is chosen at random. I choose games based on luck. A spin of the wheel because someone said, hey Gibbs, try this one, let me know what you think. Games are a lot like food. You don't know that you're going to like or dislike it till you taste it. And while Legend of Grimrock II didn't repulse me, wasn't the flavor I'm looking for rest and relaxation. If you do like this sort of game, there are several other dungeon crawler style games out there on Steam, such as Darkest Dungeon or the Path of Exile series. Also look up Gloomhaven. I think you'll find yourself enjoying those as well. I hope you had as much fun with this video as I did making it. If you like what you see, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell so you can see more ratings in the future. I will be rating games of every genre, from the most indie developers to the AAA big boys. I also stream on Twitch. You can catch me at twitch.tv/oldmangibu. If you have a suggested game for me to do a review on, go ahead and comment it below. While I won't be rating any adult titles on YouTube, just to maintain some sort of ability to be monetized, I will be rating them on another platform in the future. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.